So, the question has come up: what's the best way to deal with a bad trip? Whether that's LSD, DMT, or shrooms. Um, get to that spot, that wonderful spot of freaking the fuck out. Um, there's a couple ways to deal with it. First off, a bad trip is basically just anxiety. It's basically just anxiety. It's anxiety, sometimes paranoia, sometimes confusion. But it's usually, in a nutshell, just anxiety. So how do you just deal with anxiety? There's a couple ways to deal with it. Obviously, we have our own techniques. When you're high under the influence of, like, say, LSD, it becomes a little bit more difficult because what the root and the stem of the anxiety is often undefined, which makes it a little harder to deal with. You can go to your special place in your corner of your head, in your mind, if you can. Trust me, if you haven't found it, you will. If you take enough LSD and have a bad trip. Found mine next to the canal on 20 or 30 hits of acid. But I try to tell myself that whatever it is that I'm freaking out about, I try to tell myself, it's just the drugs. Don't worry about it. It's just the drugs. It'll pass. It'll pass. And, like when I said I wasn't really scared because I knew it was just the drugs, that's kind of a lie. I was fucking scared a lot, but that's what I kept telling myself. So just remember it's anxiety. Remember, you're not going to die, most likely. Well, if you're on hallucinogens, no, you're not going to die. You might think you're going to die. Hopefully not, but you can cheat too. You can cheat. So you can try to find your calming special place, or sometimes people have pets. Pets are good for that too. Bring you back centered to reality if your mind starts coming apart at the hinges, out into the cosmic ethers. Pets are good. They'll ground you. You can cheat. I'm a big fan of cheating because I like to chemically induce my bad trips to go away. Well, I've had a little prop for you put aside, but I don't know what happened to it. Bueller. No. So, bad trips. Chemically induced. I always keep sleeping pills, just over the counter, Tylenol, PM type stuff. NyQuil. I always keep my NyQuil. And if you have it, and preferably benzos. Yes, your Xanax, your Klonopins, your Relazepins. Those motherfuckers are worth their weight in gold if you're having a bad trip. They, the time that I was able to do it, unfortunately on the 30th shits I wasn't until the very, 2 or 3 days later when I was still tripping. But I wasn't tripping so hard I needed it. I was tripping I just wanted to go to bed. I wanted to be over with. So what those benzos coming for. If you're having a bad trip, take 3 Xanax, 3 milligrams of Xanax, wash it down with something like a NyQuil. No, wait, I'm not a doctor. This sounds bad, like bad advice. It probably is. But that's what I do. Not necessarily what you should do or what's good for you, but what I've done. And it's gotten me out of some sticky situations. Of course, sleep. If you can sleep, but if you're on hallucinogens having a bad trip, you ain't sleeping. But try. Never worked for me. Even with the Xanax, it usually doesn't knock you totally out. It'll just put you in kind of like a type trance where it's better than freaking the fuck out. I'll tell you that though. Chemically induced. Friends. You can talk to some friends that aren't assholes that are going to fuck with you and try to make you freak out more. Friends are good because they help ground you in reality. That was one thing that helped me out when I got roofied not too long ago. Back in, I don't know, maybe a little less than a year ago. I think it was around January or something. Yeah, I got roofied by I guess a Mexican prostitute. And I didn't know it. And I was already tripping on 3 tabs of acid. I got slipped a Mickey because they were trying to rob me. And wrap your brain around that when you're already on acid and they don't know it, right? And then you get roofied, and then you don't fucking pass out because you're so high on acid that it counter-affected the roofie, whatever it was. It made me fucking like this, wobbly, but I was not head down like they wanted me to be. Anyway, there's a video about that. But yeah, talking to friends has helped me get me out of that because I was stuck and didn't know how to get the fuck out of the hotel. There was a fucking pimp out there waiting for me, saying I owed him money and I didn't. And I'm freaking out, high on acid and roofied, and I'm not even sure. So, friends, was able to get a hold of a couple people and help talk my way through that bad experience. So that's always a good one. Some people, doesn't necessarily work so much on psychedelics, not for me, but it helps if you're drunk. or on downers, but like cold shower, hot shower, one of the two. That'll sometimes snap some shit back into you. Water's always good, always good. Drink water, drink water, because you get dehydrated, which adds more fucking bad news to your already bad news day. So yeah, food. I mean, if I know that I'm gonna be doing a lot of psychedelics, I try to make sure that I eat and drink beforehand, because a lot of times you just won't forget. You'll forget. You won't remember, or you won't be able to. So I make sure, like before, I try to get a full belly of food, or at least a half a belly, but definitely to pound some water. So yeah, but my favorite is the chemically induced. That's pretty much a given. You know, there's really not anywhere around that. You know, knock yourself out. That's what they do at the hospital. If you go, people go into the hospital tripping, balls, freaking out, Valium, bum, 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 until they fucking stop, shut the fuck up. That's what they do. And you can do that to yourself too. So good luck. And remember, it's not as bad as you think it is. And you'll laugh about it tomorrow.